This is you. Your hands are inside a steel drum filled with a cloudy chemical soup that used to be 3 men. The fumes sting your eyes, your throat burns. The smell is something your brain refuses to process. Half industrial cleaner, half cooked meat. A bone floats to the surface. You grab a metal hook and push it back down. Somewhere out there, someone is probably still waiting for these men to come home. A wife checking the door, a kid refreshing his phone. But you stopped thinking about that a long time ago, because here the rules are simple. If you don't dissolve the bodies, you become one. And the worst part, you weren't born a monster.
Let's roll back to the beginning.
You were just a mechanic who loved fixing engines. You never knew your parents. The orphanage kicked you out when you turned 16 with a plastic bag of clothes and a handshake that meant nothing. The city raised you after that, not the shiny city with skyscrapers, the other one, the ghetto. Rusty roofs, broken streetlights, police sirens every night like background music. But there was one place where you felt alive, the garage. Old engines made sense to you. A car doesn't lie. If something is broken, you find the part and fix it. No hypocrisy, no fake smiles, just metal, oil, and logic. By 18, you were already fixing cars for people who didn't ask too many questions. Stolen engines, modified VIN numbers, bullet holes patched up before insurance investigators showed up. Underground work, black market work. But it paid, sometimes more money in one night than honest mechanics made in a month. You told yourself it was temporary, just until life got better. Life never did. One night, a black SUV rolled into your garage, brand new. Luxury model, the kind of car that doesn't visit places like yours. 4 men stepped out, expensive suits, dead eyes. The one in the middle watched you work without saying a word. You replaced the entire transmission in under 2 hours. When you finished, he finally spoke. You're talented. His voice was calm, controlled, corporate, not gangster. He told you they represented a private logistics company expanding internationally. They were looking for skilled mechanical engineers who could work in remote environments. You laughed. Engineer? You never finished high school. But the man didn't care. He handed you a tablet with a survey, questions about your life, family members, address, travel history, skills, weaknesses, dreams. At the time, you thought it was just HR paperwork. Now you realize something terrifying. They were mapping your entire life. 2 days later, they called. You passed the interview. They were opening a new branch in Africa and needed mechanical engineers capable of maintaining heavy industrial machines. Remote location, high risk, high pay. $7,000 a month. Your brain immediately screamed scam. Nobody pays a street mechanic that kind of money. You hesitated. Then the recruiter added one more sentence. We also provide a $2,000 welcome bonus before travel. Your suspicion died instantly. $2,000 up front was more money than you had ever seen at once. They paid for the flight, the visa, the transport, everything. You told yourself this was your escape, your lucky break, your miracle. In reality, it was your recruitment. The flight took 12 hours, then a small plane, then a truck ride into the desert. Hours passed. No cities, no towns, just sand and silence. Eventually, you reached a compound surrounded by tall fences and armed guards. Waiting inside were 9 other engineers, men just like you, poor, desperate, hopeful. You all believed the same lie. You thought you were lucky. The manager welcomed you with a wide smile. Welcome to your new workplace. Then the gates locked behind you. The first thing you noticed was the smell. Rot, chemicals, death. They took you into a warehouse filled with industrial machines, steel vats, burners, acid containers. At first, you thought it was some kind of chemical processing plant. Then the first truck arrived. The back doors opened. Bodies fell out. 6 of them, wrapped in plastic. Your brain refused to process what you were seeing. One of the recruits started screaming. Another tried to run. A guard shot him in the leg. The manager sighed like an annoyed teacher. Then he explained the business model. Powerful people make problems disappear. Politicians, celebrities, business tycoons, cartel leaders. When someone becomes a liability, they call this place. And your job? Make the evidence disappear. Forever. They handed you a knife and dragged a body onto the floor. The manager pointed at you. Mechanic, show us you're useful. Your hands were shaking so badly you could barely hold the blade. You whispered you couldn't do it. The manager nodded. Then he shot the man next to you in the head. Blood sprayed across your shirt. The message was clear. You were not employees. You were tools, disposable tools. You cut the body. Not because you wanted to, because you wanted to live. Weeks passed. Your mechanical skills made you valuable. You repaired the acid heaters. You optimized the barrel burners. You redesigned the drainage system that flushed the dissolved remains into underground pits. Production doubled. The boss praised you. You became the lead technician of the facility. The irony was sickening. Your talent didn't build cars anymore. It built the most efficient human disposal system in the region. Sometimes you recognized faces, a journalist from the news, a famous singer, a missing activist. The world thought they disappeared, but you knew the truth. You turned them into liquid. One night, a truck arrived carrying someone still alive, a young man tied to a chair. He kept begging for his life. He kept repeating he was innocent. The guards ignored him. The manager turned to you. You designed the system, he said. You should test it. That was the moment something inside you cracked. You weren't surviving anymore. You were participating. You were part of the machine, and machines don't have souls. You tried to sabotage the facility. You loosened gas valves, overloaded heaters, hoping the whole place would explode. But criminals are paranoid. They checked everything. They found the sabotage within hours. The manager walked into your workshop holding a wrench. Your wrench. He placed it on the table slowly. You were our desk mechanic, he said. Then he looked at the steel barrel behind you, the one you built. Shame. Guards grabbed your arms. For the first time, you were on the wrong side of the barrel. As they lowered you toward the chemical vat, the fumes filled your lungs. You finally understood the truth. You never had a choice. The orphan kid from the ghetto, the underground mechanic, the desperate man chasing money. Every step of your life pushed you here, right into the machine. The manager leaned close to your ear and whispered the rule you taught yourself months ago. Either you cook the bodies, or you become one. The acid touched your skin, and the world went white.